Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Clap your hands, clap, clap, clap. Stomp your feet, stomp, stomp, stomp. Spin around, spin, spin, spin. Alright. Good morning, good morning, good morning. 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 Wash your hands, wash, wash, wash. Shake your hands, shake, shake, shake. Brush your teeth, brush, brush, brush. Alright. Good morning.
Oh man, I'm struggling today. I'm not gonna lie, I am struggling this morning. Welcome to the morning show with Uncle Lou. I'm your always humble host, Uncle Lou. Episode 15. Amazing. I know. Thank you. I'm struggling this morning. I stayed up trolling for no reason last night, and I'm regretting it now. I feel unprepared for the show today, but never fear. I don't require much preparation. I can pretty much talk at will here, and that's what I plan to do. Today's Friday. You know what that means? It's Type Patrol Friday. That's right. From now on, every Friday, I'm gonna attempt to have on the show as a guest a Type Patrol from the comments section. Not necessarily a troll. That's just sort of a name to give them. But people who we see in the comments section all the time. I'm going to attempt to have some of those people on Fridays. Find out who they are. Might even talk a little bit of football, but maybe or maybe not. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Thanksgiving is coming up next week, too. What do you guys do for Thanksgiving? Y'all go out of town or stay home? Most of my immediate family has always lived in this area, so I've never been one to go out of town for Thanksgiving. I did go out of town last year for Thanksgiving. We, our family here, me and Mrs. Lou and the kids, and my in-laws, her parents. Was that it, I think? Oh, no, Mrs. Lou's sister, too, who does live out of town. She lives in New York. Anyway, we all went to Myrtle Beach for Thanksgiving. I think we left on Tuesday. Left on Tuesday or Wednesday and stayed through Sunday. But that's unusual. That's the first time we've done anything like that. Usually, we stay here and we just, like a lot of y'all, I guess, if you're married, and then you have two families, we do like lunch with her parents or something, and then dinner with my parents or whatever. That's usually how it works. Now, this year, her parents are out of town again. They're in New York. Mrs. Lou's parents are in New York for Thanksgiving with Mrs. Lou's sister. So we'll be going to my dad's for Thanksgiving this year. And I'm frying a turkey over there, too. Man, if you guys have never had a fried turkey, you just have no idea how much you're missing out if you've never had a fried turkey. It makes you never want to eat a regular baked turkey again. That's how good it is. It's unbelievable. And it's really not that hard to make. Some people are scared to make them. And I mean, it can be dangerous, I guess. But hell, anything can be dangerous. But, they always put these stories on the news about these nitwits who burn their trailer down trying to fry a turkey in their living room or something. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But if you know what you're doing and you do it the right way, frying a turkey is no more dangerous than cook it on the grill or whatever, or boiling peanuts. But man, it is so good. And it doesn't take that long to do. You cook the turkey about 3 minutes per pound or whatever in the deep fryer. I guess it does take some time, I guess, as far as setup goes. And then if you're somewhere where it's really, really cold, maybe that sucks. You have to stay because you have to stay outside to cook it or whatever. But and then you have to. Well, you don't have to, but most people either rub the turkey down the day before with some sort of rub, or they inject it, they call it, and they sell these injection kits. They look like giant needles, and some people do. Some people inject them with Italian dressing. There's all different kinds of things you can do, and you basically just fill the syringe up with whatever you're injecting it with Italian dressing or whatever, and you just poke the turkey and squirt it all in there. But the fried turkey is so good, and we haven't done one in a while, but I'm gonna do one this year for Thanksgiving over at my dad's house. And of course, football, right? They give us how many days in a row of football for Thanksgiving? There's probably a game on Tuesday. There usually is. There'll be games on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday if you're into the NFL. There's even NFL games on Thursday usually, right? Thanksgiving if you're into that. But and it's rivalry weekend coming up too, right? Last weekend of the season every year, rivalry weekend. Egg Bowl, that's right, Dane. But you got the Egg Bowl, Florida State, South Carolina Clemson, Georgia Tech, Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee and Vandy. I guess is it Kentucky and Louisville. I could go on and on. Lots and lots of huge games. One of the best weekends of college football, right? Because even the teams that aren't in the running for anything major anymore, a lot of them still have like Florida State. Neither one of them can win a division or a conference or anything like that, but people will watch that game. Like it's just an interesting game. Auburn, Alabama, neither team can win their division or their conference, but you'll still watch that game, right? Georgia Tech. Anyway, you get the idea. So just a great weekend of football. And leftover turkey sandwiches. Now that is the one area I think I would give the advantage to a regular baked turkey is the leftovers, because there ain't no leftover fried turkey, or else somebody didn't cook it right. But leftover turkey sandwiches from a baked turkey, you can't beat that. And please tell me none of y'all put mustard on your turkey sandwiches. I love mustard on ham sandwiches and other things, whatever, hot dogs. I can't stand to see somebody put mustard on a turkey sandwich. It's ridiculous. For a turkey sandwich, it's mayonnaise, and that's it. And you need to put twice as much mayonnaise on a turkey sandwich as you normally would use on any other type of sandwich. That's just how you have to do it. And it better be Duke's. I catch any of you guys out there using any other mayonnaise besides Duke's, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. It's Duke's or nothing. Okay? That's just what it is. It's Duke's or nothing. And I think it's time for the Type Patrol to call in, too. So we'll see. He should be calling in soon. I know he's awake because I seen him in the comments section earlier. So, Type Patrol, I got the phone line turned on. You know the number to call. It's the number I sent you on the email. I'm pretty sure that's the right number I gave you. I better check. What is this? That's not the right number. Hold on. How is this a different number? Hold on. Hold on, I'm getting irritated. Trying to stay calm here. Yeah. Here, Type Patrol. Sorry. I gave you the wrong number. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, chances are I wasn't thinking. Here. That's the number. Sorry, Typer Troll. See if that works out better for you. I gave you the old number. This is an app that I used. This is the app that I used to use to do the call-in shows before I do it the way I do it now, where people can wait on hold and all that. It was just an app with a Wi-Fi phone number, basically. And I forgot I changed it after I quit doing the live shows because people wouldn't leave me alone on that old number. Yeah, good morning, Annette. Yeah, you called in, but you hung up in that. So, either that or it wasn't you. Call again. You called, but you hung up in that. I don't feel any differently about Georgia Tech after that win last night than I did before. I mean, I'm happy for the Georgia Tech fans that they got a win, but are you calling in? Quit typey trolling and call in. Yeah, good morning, Annette.
Hello.
Yeah, you gotta speak into the phone.
Oh no, I'm speaking.
Well, all right, we can barely hear you. I don't. So, but yeah, good. But good
Okay,
morning, in that.
now.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
yeah. Tell the people who you are in that.
Oh well, hello everyone in the chat room. My name's TYRANCE5, big Sooner fan. I'm in the comments almost every single time. Not really much of the typer troll per se, but more of like the I try to troll whenever the teams that I hate the most as a Sooner fan, really, or just make fun of mostly people who just try to troll me, or I just try to troll them back. Not really good at it, but I try my best.
That's a
But,
great.
you know,
That's a great answer. And let me just remind people that I don't mean it in a derogatory way at all when I refer to tyrants here or anyone else as a typer troll. You guys should know I love trolls. So to me, it's not an insult to call someone a typer troll. So, but what I mean is, every Friday we're gonna try to have somebody on from the comment section. And today, up first, it happens to be TYRANCE5. A lot of you guys will recognize his name from the comment section. He is an Oklahoma fan. So what's up this morning, buddy?
Oh, everything's fantastic, man. You know, instead of coffee, you're drinking water because, I don't know, can't really have a lot of sugar, but, but yeah, I mean, hey, woke up for this thing, and I think it's an awesome time to be here to hang out with you, Uncle Lou, and just have fun and, you know, talk a lot about other things that are probably on your mind and on my mind as well. But hey.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is a great idea. I couldn't agree more. So, okay, Oklahoma fan. Why? Do you live in Oklahoma? Were you born and raised there? Did your dad go there? Or those are like the usual reasons? Or is it some other reason that you became an Oklahoma fan?
Yeah, born and raised in Oklahoma. Was born an Oklahoma fan. All my life.
And what type of engine are you?
Indian. But I'm part of the Choctaw tribe.
Okay. Yeah, because of course 90% of the land in Oklahoma is engine land, so we assumed. Oh. No, I mean nothing wrong with that.
Don't worry,
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all good. All good.
All right, great. And so you sound again, I don't care what age anybody is. You sound to be you seem to be a bit younger than Uncle Lou though.
Oh yeah, very young. I'm 19, man.
Okay, yeah. So what? Out of high school or so for a year. Grown now.
Yeah.
You can vote. What else can you do?
Yeah.
Die for your country.
Pay bills.
Pay bills.
Pay
Yeah, you're basically grown
money.
at this point. Yeah, basically grown.
Yep.
And which casino do you
Now
work
I
at?
know
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Jesus, man, everybody's gonna be mad now.
Hey,
And how mad do you
get?
How mad do you get when you watch a Florida State game and they send that white frat boy out dressed up like Tonto on a show pony to throw a flaming toothpick into the ground? Does that bother you?
Not really, no.
I don't
Because,
blame you. It doesn't bother me either.
It's
I
their
think it's
choice
hilarious.
for what they do, But
Yeah.
hey, if anyone gets offended, I understand if they do. But, but yeah, it's kind of dumb in my opinion. But it doesn't really offend me.
And from the Choctaw, you say. Now, Choctaw versus Seminole, who would win?
Oh man, Choctaw all day. I always got to support
Yeah,
the tribe.
let's try to get some Indian versus Indian violence going here if we can. That would be ideal. No, all kidding aside, though, I appreciate you calling in this morning. And I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna go ahead and tell people, but you have chosen to support Uncle Lou too over on the Patreon page. So I just want to personally thank you for that. Too. That means
hey, no problem,
that means a lot.
Lou. Hey, I just want yes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But yeah, you deserve it, man. You're a great content creator. I love your college football videos, and hey, you're inspiring me to finally start my own stuff. But I'm going to do it next year because we're still late into the season. But I'm going to start doing my own college football videos as well.
Oh, great! Yeah,
thank you for that.
Make sure you let us know, and then we can move you from the Friday Typer Troll call-in show to the Monday or Wednesday YouTube Superstar call-in portion of the show, which would be ideal. It's like a promotion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, that'd be so fun just to hang out with you, just talk football, and hopefully just like I said, not really a Typer Troll, just a big fan who just supports your channel all the way through, man. And hey, you deserve my $10 a month. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Because sort of what I had in mind with these things is to try to find out a little bit about some of the more loyal LouTube viewers. So how is it that you stumbled across LouTube?
Oh, well, that was a while ago. I think I stumbled upon you between late 2015 or somewhere between early 2016.
Oh, so well before we play, because a lot of the Oklahoma fans that are around this channel came during the lead up to the Rose Bowl in 2017 when I made several Oklahoma videos, but you found the channel even before that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
When I saw because someone sent me a rage video, I forgot which one it was, but I just laughed. I just laughed really hard on it. I was like, "Who is this guy? He's funny." And I was like, "Oh well, I'll watch a little bit more of his content."
Now,
so I just watched more, and I just fell in love with it.
I'm curious about this too. So you had been watching Uncle Lou for a year or two before the Rose Bowl. So when that 2017 regular season ended and they were announcing the playoff seeding and all that kind of stuff, and you found out Oklahoma was playing Georgia, how excited were you?
Oh, I was very excited, man, because we got into the playoffs. It's always exciting when you get into the playoffs. But when we were playing Georgia as well, I was like, hell yeah, an SEC team. Don't matter if we play that too. But then, I'm just like you, Uncle Lou. Every game, I always walk around the room. Sometimes I block my parents and they get pissed off when they walk in front of the TV, but I can't help it. I was standing up all day on that game, all day.
Yeah, I've always been that way too. Some people, I get accused a lot of exaggerating or overreacting in some of the things I do or say. Like they'll say he's just doing this because he's on YouTube or whatever. But I was the same way. Like I didn't start watching college football when I created a YouTube channel. I mean, I have been watching college football forever, and I've done way dumber, more stupid and humiliating things in response to a college football game before I got on YouTube than anything I've ever done on YouTube, like including breaking TVs. I tell the story all the time.
Hey, don't worry.
We got into this thing where we were going to start riding. We were going to start riding bicycles as a form of exercise. We went and we bought 18 speeds and all this kind of stuff, and we were going to ride the neighborhood or take trips on the weekend to ride the canal and stuff like that. And we had the bikes for not very long. I think I'd only ridden the thing 2 or 3 times. And I want to say it was 2013, which would have been the prayer at Jordan Hare game where that was the year Auburn made the national title game but lost. But that was the kick 6 against Alabama. And then the year before that, Georgia had Auburn beat. And a Georgia defensive back tipped the ball up in the air right into an Auburn player's hand for like a 70-yard touchdown on the last play. Anyway, that happened at the very end of the Auburn game, and I lived in a different place then, and I had a screened-in porch, and we were all on the back porch watching the game. And as soon as that happened, I walked off the back porch, grabbed that 18 speed, walked it down the driveway, right out into the middle of the road in front of my house, and I picked it up and I body slammed it about 30 times and just completely destroyed it, which was ridiculous because I think that thing cost more than any TV I've ever destroyed. But so the point is, you talking about walking around with the games. I do that too. I used to have to carry around. Well, I can't reach it. It's over there though. But there's a little soft, like plush Georgia football. The reason I have that, I can't remember who bought me that, if it was my mom or Mrs. Lou or what, but I used to walk around the living room and I'd have the remote in my hand because during commercials I would check other scores and things like that. And I had a bad habit of getting mad and throwing the remote, and I threw it at the TV one time and broke the TV. So they bought me this plush Georgia football, and they wouldn't let me hold the remote. They'd make me walk around with that plush football in my hand so that if I got mad for no reason and I couldn't break anything with that football. But I think there's a lot of people that sort of go overboard like that when they watch or pace back and forth like you mentioned or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't do that. I walk around like when like it's better than me. My tendency really on the game is I yell a lot at the TV when my team does something stupid, and that's basically almost every play on the defense. But or when Jalen throws too many interceptions or fumbles the ball. But I've really calmed myself down a lot, and I've because they're bad habits that I have to get through, and I think so now I'm just really of that. I walk around the room. Hopefully I don't destroy my parents' carpet, and then I just yell at the TV. That's really all I do now. That's amazing.
Benjamin the Golden Retriever, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, put me on the show, Lou. Go Vols. I love fried turkey. Yeah, y'all email me if you're interested in coming on the Friday show, or if you have your own channel and you want to come on Mondays or Wednesdays, email me. It's easier for me to set these things up through email where I can track them because I'll never remember anything we lined up in the comment section on a live show, like such and such says he's coming on Friday or whatever. So any of you guys that want to be on, just email me and let me know. Darren McCardle, thank you for the super chat. What do you think of the Georgia Tech win? I mean, it was a good win. Any win for Georgia Tech is good at this point. He says, who you like, Wyoming or Colorado State tonight? I like Wyoming. I like Colorado State. I'm a Mike Bobo fan. I wish Georgia could hire him back as offensive coordinator, but I doubt that's going to happen. But so I'll be pulling, I guess, for Mike Bobo and Colorado State, but I'm a Wyoming. I think Wyoming will win it. All right, TYRANCE5. Oklahoma is 9-1, 10-1.
Yes, sir. 9-1.
Yeah, and who's left in the regular season? TCU this week, and then is it Oklahoma State next week?
Oklahoma State is our last one. Yes.
Yeah. TCU and Oklahoma State. Neither of them are great teams. Both of them are okay. Oklahoma State's dealing with some injuries. Which of those two games worries you the most, TCU or Oklahoma State?
I would have to say Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Out of all those, because really Oklahoma State, they lost their freshman quarterback, which sucks, because you always hate injuries, and because Oklahoma State really it's all about Chuba Hubbard and Tyron Wallace. Those guys scared the hell out of me. They are really amazing players. They are.
Yeah. And what about Oklahoma State's quarterback? He's hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt. The freshman guy, I forgot his name.
Sanders.
Yeah. To get in, I'm not sure. I never heard anything about him yet or his condition, but
yeah,
I still think that's the game that still worries me the most. TCU, not so much. Yeah, they got a good defense, but I think Oklahoma can still, score the points that they need so that TCU can't catch up.
All right. let me do
That's
this.
my opinion.
I'm gonna pull up some of today's college football headlines, and I'm gonna ask you about them. But first, shout out to the Color Rush podcast. They sponsor the UNCLELOU morning show. Let's support these guys. It's hard to start something new on YouTube, and the minute I started this show, these guys got in touch and wanted to sponsor the morning show, and that's a big deal for me. So they've been awfully kind to me. Let's return the favor. If you guys have some free time today or this weekend, check out the Color Rush podcast. All the links are in the description of this video, but anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find them, whether it's Spotify, Podbean, Google Play, whatever it is. The Color Rush podcast is a college football podcast, but they approach it in probably a different way than anything you've ever heard before. You guys check it out. All right, Tyrants, here we go. It's sort of like rapid fire with a type patrol. Oklahoma sidelines Oklahoma State QB Sanders surgery. We've already talked about that. We'll see. Like you mentioned, Chubba Hubbard, they're a one-man band anyway. Now, of course, you got some injury concerns of your own. Do you not?
Oh, yeah.
Calcaterra has to retire from the game of football.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that on the news last
now
night.
he's y'all's tight end, is he not?
It was heartbreaking. Yeah, he's a tight end. It was heartbreaking really to hear that he was leaving, but I understand really because concussions aren't things like make fun of. They're serious conditions, and hopefully he'll get better, and I think this will be better for him.
Yeah, he was an NFL tight end. For those of you that might not keep up that much with the Big 12 or whatever, he was one of the best tight ends in the Big 12. He would have been an NFL player. He was really, really good. So this is a shame. But you're right, Tyrants. The whole thing with concussions, and really it's really gotten serious in the last 10 years or so. I mean, I'm 40 years old, and when I played football growing up, whether it was Pee Wee, I played up through high school. So even in high school football, if you got knocked out, you were expected to go back in the game the minute your eyes opened, or you were a wussy. That was just sort of the nature of football back then, and you're a lot younger than me. That might be hard for you to imagine, but concussions were not a reason to come out of the game up until 10, 15 years ago. I mean, this has all been very recent, and I think it's a good thing. I mean, because we know now we're way more knowledgeable now from a medical perspective about concussions and the long-term effects they can have with CTE and some of these other issues that players have, once they get into their 40s and 50s, and a lot of these medical issues are being tied back to concussions that they had when they were younger. So I think it's a good thing that people are taking these concussions way more seriously, and it just makes you it just makes you wonder really what took so long, because I'm dead serious, and if there's anybody that's anywhere close to my age, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But we never used the word concussion. It's just you got knocked out, and maybe you came out for a play or two, but as soon as you could stand up and walk in a straight line, you were going back out on that field, period. I remember our middle linebacker in one game. I don't know how many of you guys know Kendrell Bell. If you're my age, you might know him. But anyway, he was a middle linebacker for the University of Georgia. He went on to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's from my hometown, and we were playing his high school team one Friday night, and he played linebacker, but he also played running back. And, I mean, you're talking about a dude that even in high school, this dude was 6'5", 245 pounds, ran like the wind. Anyway, our middle linebacker was pretty good, and he was this type of guy. He was a little bit undersized, but nothing scared this guy. Nothing. And they handed it off to that Kendrell Bell one time up the middle, and a hole opened up. And he went through the hole, and our middle linebacker met him in the hole, and they hit helmet to helmet. And that guy on our team, Jason was his name, he got knocked clean out. I mean, he was asleep on the field. They brought him over to the sideline, and they're over there asking him questions like, who's the president? What day is it? Those kinds of things. He had no clue. None. He couldn't answer a single question. The next series, he was back in the game. Now, if that happened today, you're out for a week or two. And this wasn't that long ago. This was, 20 years ago. So not that long ago. It's just amazing how far things have come with concussions. But that is a shame about this Grant Calcaterra. He was a hell of a player. Now, here's a shocker.
I know. It's kind of like...
Go ahead.
Okay. It was kind of shocking, because I had two brothers who played in football as well, like high school football. They didn't get really serious injuries, but only one of my brothers, he did. He tore his ACL, which sucked for him, but he's recovering well. But I understand how it looks on them and how it can suck for them as well, because they've had their full shares of bad timing since they play football. But it's kind of like when Rodney Anderson went down too, because when you see people who get hurt, it's like it sucks. Because I loved Rodney Anderson when he played.
Oh, me too. Rodney Anderson was one of those players that I used to harp on all the time about how much I loved him to the point where it pissed people off. I do that now with Jonathan Taylor and Jerry Jeudy and Chase Young and Justin Fields. These players that I just love to watch play. And I remember watching when Georgia played you guys in the Rose Bowl. I remember watching Rodney Anderson and going, Jesus Christ, man, I want this guy on my team. I mean, he was an absolute beast. But anyway, there's another injury. The first three headlines on ESPN's college football page this morning are all injury related. We had the Oklahoma State quarterback Sanders. We just talked about Oklahoma tight end Grant Calcaterra, and now here's an article on Tua. I think this goes into the category of Nick Saban wants Mac Jones to be the lead dog with Tua Tagovailoa out. Well, of course he does. What do you think he's going to say? But I'm sorry, Mac Jones is no Tua. That became clear to me last week in the second half against Mississippi State when Alabama was only able to score 3 points.
Oh, you're right.
You hate this about Tua, but come on, Mac Jones is not Tua.
Yeah, he's no Tua. I mean, hey, I wish, because like I said before, and everyone else, you never should wish injury upon any player, no matter how much you hate that team, or no matter how much you hate that player. You should never do that.
Now, here's what everybody wants to know, since you're an Oklahoma fan. Which quarterback that is currently playing for a team not named Oklahoma is going to be Oklahoma's starting quarterback next year? Because y'all just get a transfer every single year. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, now Jalen Hurts. I'm just kidding, of course. I think everybody expects it to be Spencer Rattler finally next year, right?
Yeah, that's what I expect too.
Yeah. And for those of you guys, though, if you're watching, you don't know who Spencer Rattler is, you'll know who he is by this time next year. I'm 100% sure, because even if he doesn't live up to what everyone says he can be, if Lincoln Riley hasn't proved anything else, he's proven that almost any quarterback in that offense is going to put up ridiculous numbers. So, and I think the hype is real on Spencer Rattler, especially in that type of offense. But so it looks like Oklahoma's offense. What worries me? The only thing that really worries me, and I'm not even that worried, but when I watch y'all play this year, and it didn't really look this way to me the last couple of years. So maybe this is a Jalen Hurts issue. I don't know. It seems like CeeDee Lamb is about all you guys have. Like, it seems like, I'll be honest, it almost looks like that if you didn't have CeeDee Lamb, you'd have 2 or 3 losses by this point. And everyone knows CeeDee Lamb is great, but in years past, it just seems like it's been more of the ball has been spread around more. And I know you've had injuries again at the running back position this year, and you lose wide receivers every year to the NFL. You lost Hollywood Brown last year. But, I mean, you guys are still recruiting at an insane level at that position. You got Jalen Hasselwood from the state of Georgia. He's had an okay year as a true freshman, but I think everybody expects him to get a lot more playing time next year. But, man, CeeDee Lamb has been unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
without a doubt. And guess what? The group of 5 is crying again. There's a double standard in the college football playoff rankings. Well, everyone knows that. Of course there's a double standard. This is why the NCAA or the Power 5 or the playoff or somebody should just come out and say, listen, the group of 5's not getting into playoffs. period. They should just come out and say that, because by trying to pretend that the group of 5 can get into the playoffs, it does appear as though there's a bunch of double standards. But we all know they're not getting in. And let's be real, there's no group of 5 team that even comes close to Central Florida from 2 years ago. So I don't really understand what they're crying about this year. But what do you think about the group of, like, do you think, I can't think of a group of 5 team that could beat, let's say, Clemson and LSU in back-to-back weeks or something to win a national title. I don't think there's anybody that thinks that could happen. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. I don't think there's any kind of a Power 5 of a excuse me. Yeah, but I agree with you that I don't think there's any type of team like Cincinnati, Memphis, or UCF, because I don't think they could ever do something like that.
Yeah, and here's this conference commissioner here, this Mike Oresco, the commissioner of the AAC. And the AAC is a good conference this year. I mean, I'm not knocking the AAC, but here he is. He says basically he's complaining that Memphis is only ranked 18 and Cincinnati is only ranked 19, and he's saying that if they were Power 5 teams, they'd be ranked higher. Well, if they were Power 5 teams, if they were Power 5 teams and had the same record they have now, they probably would be ranked higher, because that would mean they would have a bunch of wins over Power 5 teams. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter where Memphis and Cincinnati are ranked. All that matters is which one ends up ranked higher, because that's who, the highest ranked group of 5 team is guaranteed a New Year's Six bowl. But they should just come out and say the group of 5 is not getting into playoffs, because they're not. Now, when we expand the playoffs down the road in 2025 to maybe 8 teams, maybe they can work something in where, if a group of 5 team can finish the season in the top 12 or something, they're guaranteed a playoff spot. But like, even take Cincinnati, and I think Cincinnati's a good team. Like I've been talking about Cincinnati a lot this year. I actually think they're the best group of 5 team. They lost to Ohio State 42-0. So
I mean, yeah, that should really,
really
tell you a lot.
And I'm not saying a loss should eliminate you, but hell, look at Ohio State. Ohio State's a Power 5 team, an elite Power 5 team, and getting blown out by Purdue kept them out of the playoff last year. Getting beat by Iowa kept them out of the playoff the year before. So how can Cincinnati complain that they're getting left out of the playoff by losing to Ohio State? So it's time to just let this go with the group of 5. We all know they're not getting in. They should know that too. What they should be complaining about are the rules. The rules should be changed if that's what they really want to do, to mandate that a Power 5 team gets in if you go to 8 teams. But complaining about where a team is ranked, blah blah blah, I don't know. I don't see the point. I just don't. And here we go again here with South Carolina. Their president backs Will Muschamp, says there is no buyout. Well, he came out a week ago and admitted to calling Florida State to inquire about how they handled the buyout of Willie Taggart. So I don't know. I mean, this just makes no sense to me. You come out. He didn't have to do this. He comes out and he says, yes, I called the Florida State Athletic Department to inquire about how they handled Willie Taggart's buyout and how they came up with the money. He didn't have to come out and say that. Why did he? So obviously then people are going to start asking a bunch of questions. And now he comes out a week later and says, no, Muschamp is fine. He's good. We're not firing him. We're not interested in buying out his contract, blah, blah, blah. Well, then you never should have came out a week ago talking about calling Florida State. But who's your coaches that are on it? Well, I have 2 coaching questions for you, Typer Troll, TYRANCE5. And again, if you just joined us, this is TYRANCE5 on the phone this morning. This is something we're going to start doing on Fridays. I'm going to have a different Typer Troll on every Friday morning. If you want to be that Typer Troll that I have on Friday morning, email me, crazyunclelou@gmail.com, and we will work something out. 2 questions for you. Which coach in the Big 12 will be the next to get fired, even if it's not this year? Who do you think the next Big 12 coach is going to be that gets fired? And who do you think, or is there a Big 12 coach that may leave for what they consider to be a better job? And I'm obviously thinking of Matt Campbell mostly there, but Any coaches on the hot
Probably,
seat right now in the Big 12?
To me, really, I don't think there's really much hot seat right now. But I still think though Earl Campbell still might. Campbell will probably leave for another job. I mean, he's a great coach.
Yeah.
And he gets as much as he can out of what he has in Iowa State. And
No doubt.
Trust me, I've seen it happen many times. He beat OU, like at home and everything. And I don't think there's really much of hot seats right now. But that's my guess is like Campbell might leave Iowa State for a better job. That's my opinion.
And this might not be fair to ask you this because you're going to hate this guy anyway, but how long of a leash do you think Texas is going to give Tom Herman? They're not going to keep a coach around who's losing 4 or more games every single year, are they? I mean, I know you're an Oklahoma fan, and I love to dog on Texas too. You hadn't won the Big 12 in forever, ha, ha, ha. But let's be real.
Yeah, horns down for Pete.
Yeah, Texas is not a 4-loss team traditionally. Now, over the last 10 or so years, they have been. But a lot of hype this offseason for Texas, a ton of hype after they beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Now, anybody with any sense can see through that win, but unfortunately, we're talking about Texas fans here, and a lot of them tend not to have very much sense. But so they're back and that whole thing, and then they're already sitting at 4 losses with really, really good potential for at least one more loss. And if they lose one more, it would be a worse season than last year. So, how many years in a row can Tom Herman continue to lose 4 games and keep his job? I mean, you tell me. I don't know.
Well, hopefully for me, they keep him forever because I love what's going on down there. I love seeing Texas Longhorns get crumbled on.
Yeah.
I love it when the words like that doesn't age well. How he said we're back. Yeah, you're back to losing 4 games. But yeah, I hope they keep him forever. But short leash, longer leash, I think between 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get any better than that, if he keeps losing 4 games, I think they might fire him in the next 2 or 3 years. That's what I'm thinking.
And here's the thing, and I know Sumlin, not Sumlin, Charlie Strong, record-wise, he didn't do that well there. But it's not like Tom Herman inherited a team with no talent. Charlie Strong had some good recruiting classes at Texas. He just couldn't put it together on the field. And those good recruiting classes have continued now with Tom Herman. So recruiting is not the issue. Now, you can always recruit better. But the point is, this wasn't a situation where Tom Herman came in and looked around and goes, oh, God, we don't have the talent here to compete. It's going to take us 3 or 4 years. Yeah. No, there was top 5, top 10 class talent there when Tom Herman got there, and he's continued that recruiting at that level. So the talent is there. And what's weird is they compete with Oklahoma. They even beat you once last year. And that's a good win. I mean, Oklahoma's a good team, but then they go out and they lose these unexplainable games, and it's not just one a year. Georgia lost to South Carolina. That's a terrible loss, but that's one loss. If we had 3 of those a year, I would be irate. And that's what's happening to Texas. I mean, the back-to-back losses to Maryland is unforgivable. And then who are their losses to this year? They've lost to you. Who else have they lost to? LSU. That's not a terrible loss. Yeah. But what are the other 2?
And then they lost to Iowa State. And I can't remember the other one who they lost to. Crap.
Well, let's take Iowa State as an example. And then they'll say, well, Iowa State is a good team. I agree. Iowa State is a good team. Texas should not be losing to Iowa State, though. They shouldn't. Where is Iowa State's recruiting classes? It can't be in the 20s. It's got to be 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. It's got to be. It's got to be. So you're getting outplayed and outcoached by Iowa State, and that can't be. Now, Iowa State, even Oklahoma, Iowa State, maybe they beat Oklahoma once every 5 or 6 years. Fine. It's still, Sooner fans are still going to hate that, but it's once every 5 or 6 years. But Oklahoma then goes out and wins the rest of their games and goes 10-1, 11-1, whatever it is. Texas is just losing 6 games, 4 games again this year. It's just unexplainable how Texas has been this bad for this long. I don't get it. I know you love that. It'd be like if Florida kept losing 4 games a year. Oh, they did for a really long time. That's right. Yeah. Forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Georgia owns Texas.
Yeah, they did.
Georgia owns Florida like Oklahoma owns Texas. It's really kind of sad. But anyway, Tyrants, listen, I'm going to let you go, buddy. This was a great day for me to get this started because I'm not gonna lie, I was very unprepared for the show today. So you sort of saved the day today. If I would have had to do this by myself for an hour.
Thank you, Lou.
Oh yeah, and we'll do it again too. This was good. I'm going to try to let different people have an opportunity to come on, but obviously we would love to have you on again.
Hey, I will enjoy it. Hey, and I will definitely come back on whenever I am able to. And thank you for everything you've done. And one question to, Celine Driver, I saw that super chat with the 24-14. I understand that hurt me. Congratulations on your 2008-2009 season for that national championship. But you still can't beat Georgia. Have a good day, Lou.
All right, Tyrants. Thank you, buddy. TYRANCE5, you guys know him from the comments section. He's an Oklahoma fan. And if you just joined us, I'm going to try to do something like this every Friday where I have a Typer troll from the comments section on as a guest on the Friday morning show. And when I use the phrase Typer troll, I mean it in the best possible way. Not that you're necessarily a troll. The point is people that we know from the comments section, but really all we know about them is their name, right? And maybe what team they're a fan of. And the idea is to have some of these people on and just get an idea of who they are, Anyway, Tyrants, I appreciate you being sort of the guinea pig today for this new segment or whatever. Let me catch up with some super chats that I missed because I was reading ESPN instead of paying attention like I'm supposed to be doing. Darren says I lost $250 on NC State. I lost 25. I bet 25 on that game. I wasn't very confident. I bet that game and I bet the NFL game last night. I took the favorite in both games. I took NC State -1.5, and I took the Houston Texans -3.5, and the Houston Texans only won by 3. So I lost that one, and obviously I lost the Georgia Tech bet too. But I wasn't very confident in either one of those games, and I really only bet them to give me a reason to pay attention to them. So down $50 there. But I had a great weekend last weekend. I was 7-0. I don't think I've ever done that before. But I was 7-0 on Bet Now last weekend. So it doesn't really hurt my feelings that much that I threw $50 away last night. But I thank you for the super chat, sir. North Florida White Trash, what's up, buddy? I hadn't seen you in a few days. How much to sponsor the show? Need to get my fireworks stand some good publicity. You email me and I'm sure we can work something out. Well, that's a $5 super chat. A little bit more than that maybe, but I'm sure we can work something out. I'd love to have your fireworks stand as a sponsor, sir. Slim Shady Canes, thank you for the super chat. In my day, players cut off their own fingers and went back in the game. Come on. We've all heard stories like that, but come on, really? Celine Driver, thank you for the super chat, sir. Hey, Lou, tell Tyrants 24-14. Looking forward to rivalry. My Gators will road grade free shoes. You listen, my reputation as an SEC homer was sort of born during next week's games of college football because I started making videos basically rooting for Florida, rooting for Kentucky, rooting for South Carolina, all these SEC teams versus the ACC thing. So I'll be pulling for Florida in that game. Florida State is a much better team without Willie Taggart, though, than they were before. I'm not saying they'll beat you, but they're a much better team. It's addition by subtraction. They got rid of Willie Taggart, and they hadn't lost a game since. Now, the competition hasn't been great, but let's be real. They were losing to terrible teams with Willie Taggart. Now, at least, they're beating terrible teams. So I do expect Florida to win that game, but I would be more concerned now than I was, say, a month ago. Brock Tony, thank you for the super chat. Tom Herman kisses his players. Is that true? Because that's not the first time I've heard that. Ryan Parker, thank you for the super chat. More than that. Uncle Lou, have a good day. I thank you, Ryan. You too, and go Dogs, buddy. Go Dogs. Of course, Texas A&M hype and hate coming up today, which should be interesting because I've never done a Texas A&M hype and hate before, and sometimes those turn out to be some of the best ones. It gets hard to come up with new material to trash talk South Carolina 5, 6, 7, 8 years in a row in a 15-minute hype and hate video. Right? I end up having to recycle some of the jokes. That's not the case with Texas A&M because I've never made a Texas A&M hype and hate video before, so this should be interesting today. Thank you for the super chat and that. Texas also lost to TCU. Yeah, that's right, and that's who Oklahoma plays this weekend. Oklahoma's a big favorite in that game. I was kind of surprised the spread was that high. Did I write it down? Yeah, Oklahoma minus 18. TCU, Gary Patterson, been there forever. One of the only coaches, one of the only programs really in the Big 12 that really values defense year in and year out. I don't think their defense this year is as good as some of the previous versions of the TCU defense that Gary Patterson has put on the field, but still a team that at least emphasizes defense. And, I mean, it's just be real. We just don't see that all that often within the Big 12, but they are one of them. Hey, Jared, good morning. He's an OU fan. He says that's too much. OU won't cover. They get him at home. We'll see. In games like that, I probably won't play that game because let's be real. The possibility does exist that if Oklahoma gets hot, they could win that game by 30 points. Like, that is a possibility. Like, Oklahoma could win that game, 45-14. That is possible. I don't think that's likely. I do think Oklahoma will win. So I usually stay away from games like that when a team has an explosive offense. And, I mean, they're clearly better than TCU. And you're like, I don't know, but TCU's got a defense, and Oklahoma's defense seems to be getting worse. So I tend to stay away from games like that. But I do think it's possible Oklahoma blows them out. But I would stay away. I probably wouldn't bet that, to be honest. And yada, yada, yada. If you haven't heard the news, I'm most likely not going to the Texas A&M game tomorrow. There's a 90% chance of rain all day in Athens, and I'm not sitting in the rain to watch a game. It's not happening. I'm not going to a game in September when it's 100 degrees. I'm not going in November when it's 45 degrees and raining. Going to a game is just not that important to me anymore to put myself through that. So it's not a drizzle either. It's supposed to be like a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain, which really sucks too because I think SEC Nation is going to be there. I quit paying attention once I decided I wasn't going. But I was going to take Lou Jr. He's never been to an SEC Nation show or college game day or anything like that. And SEC Nation was going to be there. We were going to go up early in the morning. I'd already got in touch with the people I tailgate with and had it all planned out. But I'm just not going and sitting in the pouring down rain like that. I'm 40-something years old. Ain't nobody got time for that. I got bronchitis. So I'm most likely not going unless for some reason the weather forecast drastically changes. If I don't go, I may try to go to the Georgia Tech game next weekend because I try to go to one game a year. And this was the one I had circled this year because it was our first time playing Texas A&M. I thought it would be fun to be there, but I'm not going and sitting in that cold, wet, rainy weather. The sickness has been floating around my house for the last 2 weeks. My daughter was out of school for a week with a bad cold. Lou Jr. was out of school 2 days this week with a bad cold. I haven't gotten anything yet, but I'm not fixing to risk it by going and sitting in 40-degree weather and pouring down rain. I'm just not going to do it. And here's the other thing. They say, well, just get up there about 3 o'clock, go straight to the game, watch the game, and leave. No. I would rather not go to a game than do that. I have more fun before and after the game when I go than I do during the game. I like going to the dog walker, SEC Nation, and hanging out at the tailgate and throwing football and the food at the tailgate and all that. That's the reason to go to a game to me. Not to sit in the bleachers and watch people play football. I have more fun with everything that goes on around the game, and with it pouring down rain, I won't be able to do that. So I'm most likely not going to go. In which case, the regular streaming schedule is back on for tomorrow morning. So we'll have the morning show at 9 a.m. I'm doing the Patreon stream for the afternoon games because Georgia plays at 3:30. So we'll start the Patreon stream around 3 or 3:15. Earlier in the week I had said none of that was. I had said all that was canceled because I thought I was going to go to the game. But then as we got closer to Saturday, the weather wasn't changing, and I just said forget it. It's not going to go. But anyway, I am going to go ahead and end the show. Guys, I told you if you joined first thing this morning, I was very unprepared for the show this morning. I didn't sleep. I didn't get enough sleep last night. And TYRANCE5 really saved the day today because if you guys would have had to listen to me ramble for an hour this morning, it probably would have been a disaster and a train wreck, to be honest. But anyway, appreciate all you guys tuning in. Let me run. We got some more super chats. Let me run through these. Yeah. Darren McCardle, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, I have money on Georgia, Miami, Michigan, and Virginia, 100 on each. Georgia at -13, I like that, especially with the rain. I think the rain is going to hurt Texas A&M, who likes to throw the ball, way more than it's going to hurt Georgia, who hates to throw the ball. So I like that. Miami and FIU, I don't even know what the line is there. It's got to be high, though. FIU is terrible. Who's Michigan playing? I don't know who Michigan or Virginia is playing. Let me look it up. Well, I'm not going to look it up. Good luck, sir. Yeah. Good luck, Nat. Stephen Roberts. Good morning, sir, and thank you for the super chat. He says it'll be 64, not 40. I'll be there, but only because I traveled so far to be in Athens this week. Go Dogs. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I lay down and go to sleep tonight, and I just can't stand it, and I say, screw it, I'm going to get up and go. But as of right now, I'm leaning towards no. And 64 is probably the high, but as soon as that sun goes down at halftime at about 5 o'clock, it's going to be freezing, and you're going to be soaking wet. So I'm glad you're going. I hope it sells out. There was a lot of people there. I just can't. I just don't think I can do it. He's not a real fan. Oh boy. It is what it is. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time.